Hello everyone, Shirley here. Today we're going to take a look at the Chrome King Gallywix on Heroic difficulty on the Arms Warrior. Right off the bat here, we're playing a pretty much standard single target build for Gallywix, except I'm picking up improved sweeping strikes, which you could arguably swap out for cleave if you wanted to, but I'll explain in a bit why we're taking improved sweeping strikes and what I opted for. But anyway, on the pull here, we're going to go in, use all of our CDs, and that first mechanic comes out is that big old cone that we've divided our raid into two groups, of course, to soak, and then we're dodging the big bad bunch of bombs there, and just walking out to the left. You can gate or, use movement speed abilities on that, but as long as you move immediately and the bomb bait itself spawns in a decent location, you can just walk out of it. It's not that big of a deal, rather than taking a gate and losing uptime on the boss. As the second healing absorb comes out over here, I'm going to go ahead and throw up a spell reflect for each of these just to help mitigate some of that magic damage. These bombs that came out were baited kind of poorly, so I'm going to walk off to the right here and reconvene with the other group. But as soon as we're done, we're going to run all the way back around to the other side and get with my team here. And just keep rotating clockwise around the boss is what our strategy is for this first phase. Taking a little bit of damage here, these suppressions going out, just watching your feet. Dodging all the little swirls on the ground. You can get pretty close to Gallywix here too, as long as you don't fall in the hole, of course. Throw in a little impending victory here to help heal off that absorption shield that comes. And right here at a minute and a half is our first big decision, I'd say, for Arms. You can opt to save Avatar and all your cooldowns right here for all the little ads that come out in about 15 seconds. And I would probably recommend everybody does that. I opted to go ahead and send it here, though, because our group's burst AoE is really good, so I don't really need to save CDs for that, and I can get more boss damage in this way. But otherwise, you would hold for a little bit and pop them all right here and get all these sentries and technicians down. With Bladestorm, it's probably worth holding Bladestorm regardless for future reference for all of these little ad sets if you don't hold the Avatar anyway. Just to, you might as well Bladestorm the 10 plus mobs or whatever it is here. Dodging these Giga Blast zaps, they can be slightly deceiving too, because after the cast goes off, it's not a channel, but it persists on the ground for a few seconds, so don't accidentally walk back into that before it's actually done casting. So right here, this is where we're taking improved sweeping strikes, also for the little guys, just because, we don't need cleave so much because they die so fast. But improved sweeping strikes is really nice, getting down these two big guys in phase 2 here. I also want to be trying to sweeping strikes a Colossus Smash onto Gallywix and one of those guys once they drop below the 35% health threshold, just to get that extra bonus haste from our In for the Kill talent. Where he's going to cast his next big bomb. We're going to rotate around to his next point here, just dodging all the little other bombs that come out. And these 3 soaks that also drop here. I'm holding my CDs for a second because I know he's going to fly away. And this also lines up better for this ad set, that I can actually burn all of my big cooldowns here on these guys. So I am still getting, a ton of ad pressure or damage in just later on in the fight, doing it the way that I did right here. We get all these guys cleaved down. Be sure to kick anything that might be able to go off here. And watching out for these bombs. Here's one of the beam there, just waiting for people to grab. We've got our Demon Hunters grabbing those and running them off to the side. I'm just keeping an eye on them so they don't, go off in the group there. But these 2 Wrenchmongers come down again. It's a little bit of a rinse-repeat situation right here. We get up our sweeping strikes and continue to cleave these guys. And as soon as they get down to execute range, I'm going to tab target them from Gallywix and, get those executes onto them and the boss. And then we're going to get out really quick here as we get into the final phase as he summons his mech. When it comes down, that'll pretty much just one-shot you, so you definitely want to be on your toes for when that mechanic comes out. And then he's going to put up his big absorption shield and start channeling his cutter beam, so you just gotta be really careful and rotate around this and break that shield. We had him really close to the edge of the platform there. It's probably a little bit too close. We can move him out so we had a little bit more room to get around the back side. But we got that broke, and then we're going to move him towards the center of the platform, taking out the tank bomb there. And now the rockets come out, and I'm just going to move this off to the side and away from everybody. You get 3 lines per rocket, and you can't, rotate it, but you can see the direction they're facing, so you can move those out and get them, away from the raid group. And the first big mechanic of the final phase here comes out. These 3 soak canisters that you need at least 3 people in. We definitely want to get in those, and then he's going to immediately cast the suppression mechanic, so it's it's kind of a bad overlap having that soak and then immediately into the suppression. We're just going to run away with some movement speed or roar, I think, there, to get as far out as possible, and then come back in and get some more damage on the boss here, and watching out for all the rockets and the swirlies, and he's going to go back into the middle and summon the next set of adds that we got to run these bombs out to those controllers again. We gripped all the adds into that first beam, unfortunately, there, but no big deal. We're just getting up sweeping strikes, and I'm just tunneling executes and sweeping onto these little guys at this point. I don't have Blade Storm up for it. You could hold it, but, we're getting the boss low enough. I'm just prioritizing getting Gallywix down rather than all the ad pad at the moment. But as he gets back around here, we dunk the bomb pretty no fuss or anything, and continue executing the boss. We get our first set of soaks here. 3 people to each of these at least. You could, we were kind of over-soaking here, but frankly, the canisters are the only thing during this last portion of the fight, I think, that's really going to wipe a lot of raid groups. The suppression there that we're running out for is obviously very dangerous, but if you miss a canister soak, it's just going to instantly one-shot the entire raid. So the canisters definitely have priority, and there's a couple of overlaps where they come out right after a mechanic, so you really want to be up close and, on the spot paying attention for those. We get our last big set of CDs here. I'm going to go ahead and use my second pot, or potion here, and burn all of my cooldowns executing and blade storming the boss again. He's summoning his adds here. Like, once again, I could be saving, but I'm just going to sweeping strikes, executes on all the little guys once we get them all grouped up over here. Let everybody else cheese and pat on these guys. Dodging the Giga Blasts, and it's pretty much just a rinse-repeat kind of dance at the moment for this final portion of the fight. Dodging all the electric swirls. He comes out right as I press my Blade Storm, unfortunately. I should have been paying attention to his channel there. Lose a little bit of damage off of that. We're running out here. He immediately casts suppression coming out of that, and we don't have a movement phase, so that's where I'm going to, make sure that I have my Heroic Leap available to get out of this. And we get the next tank bomb that comes out. We unfortunately lost a couple of people during that suppression mechanic, but we got some battle reses for that. Moving out with these rockets, dodging the bombs, making sure that big bomb in the middle gets picked up and moved. And we get the canister soaks coming out here, and the canister soaks are only about 3 seconds or something to get those, so you really want to be, paying attention and on the spot for those each time. Moving out with the next tank mechanic. And yeah, Gallywix doesn't really do a whole lot here. We got one more suppression channel that we got to avoid here. Running out for that. Get one more big set of cooldowns, and he's going to go in and summon all of his little adds here once again. But we've got the boss low enough at this point, we're just going to ignore all these little guys. Make sure that, no casts get off, so we'll grip them or stun them or whatever. But otherwise, just full priority on Galley, and Heroic Galley goes down. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.